friends, let me continue our first chapter partnership form. In previous videos, we checked some information, some theoretical part of this chapter. Today, let me check some theory and also we'll start examples from here in this video. Here we are going to cover these topics: how partnership form, how capital accounts are maintained. Then we will check some examples related with interest on drawing, commission of partner, and profit share of partners. Then in next video we will check some more examples. I would like to say here, from this chapter, short sums are very essential for your board exams. So maximum short sums I am going to cover in this video, and almost in next video we will finish our entire chapter. So let me have a look on this uh, chapter. And yes, please subscribe this channel. So during the year you will get information about and entire sums of 12th commerce accounts by me. Okay, let me check types of maintaining capital account. Partners capital accounts. It is an account which represents the partner's interest in the business. By mean what? In 11th we learnt a proprietary form. So only one owner was there. So only capital account word was we were using. Why? Because he is owner, so his capital account. But here more than one owner is there. So there are A, B, C, suppose partners. Then we know like A's capital account, we can call B's capital account. So we should separate with the name. Okay. In case of partnership business, a separate capital account is maintained for each partner. As I said, the capital accounts of partner may be maintained by any of the following two methods. Now this is important. In partnership firms, partners capital accounts are maintained by two ways. These are two methods: fixed capital account method and another is fluctuating capital account method. Now uh, what is fixed capital account and fluctuating capital account method? Let me check. Fixed capital accounts. Under this method, the original capitals invested by the partners remain constant. By mean, in the beginning of the year, suppose partner A's capital account shows capital of 2 lakh. Then at the end of year also it shows 2 lakh. Yeah, sometime it changes if partner brings any new additional capital. Now, why it remains same and constant? Because during the year, there are too many transactions which we need to give effect on partner's capital account. Which transactions are recorded in partner's capital account? All those transactions which are between partner and firm, like drawing of the partner, his interest on drawing, interest on capital, if any partner's salary commission is payable by firm. But in this fixed capital account method, all these transactions like drawing, interest on capital, interest on drawing, salary to partners, share of profit loss, it is not recorded in specific partners capital account, but to record these transactions, especially when another account is maintained, and that is called current account of partner. Firm which follows this method, fixed capital account method, they maintains two account for each partner. They maintains capital account, and with capital account they maintains current account of partner. In capital account, only capital of owner is shown, while all other transactions related with partner is recorded in current account. So what happens in the beginning of the year? Suppose A's capital account shows 1 lakh balance. During the year, you are not recording, you are not debiting, not creating any transactions in this account. At the end of year, when you find balance of his capital account, it remains same 1 lakh. Why? Because other transactions are not recorded in capital account, but it is recorded in current account. So, because capital remain constant up to the end of year, it's called fixed capital account method. But let me tell you, it's not necessary every time it remains same in the beginning and at the end. Because if partner brings any additional capital during the year, it is recorded in current capital account, not in current account. So sometimes it changes. One another capital account method is fluctuating capital account. This is maximum used method of maintaining partners capital account. Fluctuating capital account, in this method, firm is maintaining only account for each partner and it is capital account. Current account is not maintained. So in the beginning of the year, whatever partner's capital is there, if it is debit balance or debit, then credit is shown in capital account of partner, and all those transactions which is between firm and partner is recorded in capital account. Let me tell you what is difference between fixed and capital account if you are getting. In fixed capital account method, two accounts are maintained for each partner, capital and current account. In capital account, only capital is recorded, and if any new capital is brought, then it is recorded. But remaining all transactions are recorded in current account. While in this fluctuating capital account, only capital account is maintained, and all those transactions, interest on drawing, interest on capital, partner's profit share or loss, everything is debited or credited to capital account. So due to it, in the beginning, suppose A's capital account was 1 lakh balance. During the year, some amount of drawing is debited in it, interest on drawing is debited, interest on capital is credited. So at the end of year, when your balance is his capital account, of course it changes, it never remain constant. So the method's name is fluctuating capital account. Why? Because capital in the beginning of the year and capital at the end of year remain changed. So it is called fluctuating capital account method. Now here let me show you the specimen of capital account, especially when you are following fluctuating capital account method. Just you can see capital account is like account, debit side, credit side. Very first you can see opening balances. Sometimes, especially in fluctuating capital account method, sometimes in the beginning of the year, partner's capital shows debit balance, then you are showing debit side, and if credit balance, then credit side. Mostly it is always credit. Drawing made by partner during the year is debited to his capital account. Interest on drawing which firm charges from partner, so it is debited to partner's capital account and credited to P&L appropriation account. It is debited here. Whatever profit or loss firm earned during the year, it is share among the partners. So whatever loss share is there, it is debited. Same you can see credit side. Interest on capital firm pays to partner, so it is credited to his capital account. If commission salary is payable to partner, it is credited. If partner brings any additional capital during the year, it is credited to his capital account, and his profit share is also credited to. And at the end of year, when you are closing it, nothing is guaranteed. Sometimes you find debit balance or credit balance. So this is capital account, and of course we have to maintain this capital account in too many sums in our next chapter, final accounts of partnership firm. So we will learn more. Okay. Yes, friends. Now we are coming on a main topic. From here we start examples. Okay. You are having especially first sum of your book, but we will not start with that sum. First we will have some practice sums, then we will check that examples which is rated with interest on drawing. Now let me have some informative things about interest on drawing. Interest on drawing is income for firm while it is expense for partner. Of course, firm charges interest on partner. So firm recovers from partner. For firm, it is income, while for partner, it is expense. This is very important line for your objective MCQs also. Now, second, interest on drawing is calculated from date of drawing up to the end of year. Partners interest on drawing, not only interest on drawing, interest on loan, interest on drawing, interest on capital, it is always calculated from date of drawing up to the end of year. For example, suppose any partner just drawn rupees 2000 from firm on 1/10/2016. Your accounting year ends on 31st March 70. It means This drawing is made by partner for exactly 6 months from 1/10/16 up to 31st month 17. Then firm will charge only 6 months interest. Okay. For the time period drawing is made, interest is charged. That is very important. If date of drawing is not available, then it depends. Especially this rule is for academic. Yes, because practically, of course, when he drawn, it is always having proof. But in academy, if date of drawing is not available, then it depends on rules of firm. Normally, it is firm charges per annum drawing interest on drawing for 6 months. Okay. Let us start some examples. Here we are having very simple example. Partner A has withdrawn rupees 10,000 from firm on 1/4/16. Interest on drawing is charged at 12% per annum. It means firm charges 12% interest, but it is per annum. You need to calculate interest on drawing at the end of year. Okay. As we seen in previous slide, what is important while calculating interest on drawing of any partner at the end of year? The amount of drawing, the rate of drawing, rate of interest on drawing, and very important is the time period of drawing. So let me check. Let me check. Okay. Here amount is withdrawn by partner on 1/4/16. Yes, it is said in your some question. Your accounting year ends on 31st March 17. It is not clarified here, but yes, it is just our assumption, and of course, it is on 31st March 17. Let me mean that our accounting year is 16/17, so ends on 31st March 17. So, how many months interest we should charge? The drawing made by partner is on 1/4/16. Our year ends on 31st March 17. So from 1/4/16 up to 31st March 17, it is 12 months. So we should charge per annum interest on drawing. The amount of drawing is 10,000. Rate of interest you can see here 12%. And for the time period we are charging interest is 12 months. So of course, very same like that I is equal to PRN upon 100. 10,000 is amount of drawing. 12% is rate of interest and 12 months interest, so per annum, and it is total interest on drawing made by partner A is 1200 rupees at the end of year. Friends, this was just simple example, but what is important, what we need to learn from this example, our main funda is we should charge interest on drawing for the time period. He drawn on 1/4/16, year ends on 31st March 17. So exact time period is 12 months. So we charge 12 months interest on. Let me check some more examples for practice. Partner A has withdrawn rupees 10,000 on 1/10/16. When he drawn his this amount from firm on 1/10/16. While another partner B has withdrawn rupees 5,000 on 1/1/17. So he drawn rupees 5,000 on 1/1/17. Now firm is charging interest on drawing at 10% per annum. And your question is, you need to calculate interest on drawing at the end of year for both the partner. Let me check. Okay guys, you can see partner A, he draws 10,000 rupees on which date? 1/10/16. You can see my cursor. Okay, on 1/10/16. So partner A has made drawing on 1/10/16. So his interest on drawing, we will calculate from 1/10/16 up to 31st March 17. Here 31st March 17 is my date of accounting year ends. So total drawing period is 6 months. Yes, now. So we will calculate 6 months interest on drawing of partner A. His amount of drawing is 10,000. Rate of interest is 10%. So just check it how we calculate interest on drawing of A. 10,000 is amount of drawing. 10% is rate of interest. 10 is P. 10% rate 10 and 6 months interest, so 6 divided by 12. Thus, his interest on drawing is rupees 500, which firm will charge from him. Now, what about partner B? The check it in question. Partner B has drawn rupees 5,000, but he made this drawing on very specific date 1/1/17. So partner B has withdrawn on 1/1/17. So his interest on drawing we will calculate from 1/1/17 up to 31st March 17, which is exactly 3 months, January, February, and March. So we will calculate his interest on drawing, partner B's interest on drawing. His amount of drawing is 5,000. Rate of interest is 10%, but we will charge only 3 months interest, and here it is 5,000, 10% rate of interest, and 3 months interest is being rupees 125. So here we found interest on drawing for A and B. Again and again I am telling you what is very important. Let me check again. Partner A made drawing on 1/10/16. Year ends on 31st March 17. So we charge 6 months interest in case of partner A. While partner B just made his drawing on 1/1/17. Of course, our year ends on 31st March 17. So 3 months interest is charged on his drawing. Okay, let me check some more. Okay, guys, from here, this is exactly sum you are having in your exercise book, in your textbook, but with a minor change. Okay, partner A has withdrawn rupees 1,000 in the beginning of every month. This is new. Interest on drawing is charged at 12% per annum. That is rate of interest on drawing. Now you need to calculate interest on drawing at the end of year. Before starting sum, let me highlight what is new here. A has withdrawn 1,000, but when? In the beginning of every month. So his total drawing during the year being 12,000. Yes, now. But what is our problem? Let me check. Your partner has withdrawn total rupees 12,000 during the year. Yeah, why? Because 1,000 per month, annually 12,000. But entire amount is not withdrawn on same day. Okay, in previous sum, 10,000 was withdrawn by A, but on very specific date. Entire 10,000 was withdrawn on 1/10/16. So we charge interest from 1/10/16 up to 31st March 17 on 10,000 because entire 10,000 was withdrawn on that date. In case of partner B, in previous sum, 5,000 was withdrawn. Entire amount was withdrawn on 1/1/17. So we charge 3 months interest. But here our problem is during the year total drawing is 12,000. But in this 12,000, every month 1,000 is drawn. So what happens? 12 months interest will be charged on 1,000 drawn in the beginning of first month. First month, in the beginning of first month, whatever amount 1,000 drawn by him, on it you have to charge 12 months interest because it took 12 months from beginning of the year up to the end of year. But the amount of drawing made in second month's beginning, you have to charge only 11 months interest. You are getting it, I think, because it is drawn in the beginning of second month. So 1 month is already left from second month up to last month, and at the end of year, it takes only 11 months. Same 1,000 which is drawn in the beginning of third month, you have to charge 10 months interest, and continuing it. The 1,000 which is withdrawn in the beginning of 4 month, you have to calculate only 9 months interest, and same you have to charge 1 month's interest on amount which is drawn by partner in the beginning of last month, 12 month. Okay, so how to calculate? Because you cannot calculate 10% on 12,000, because in 12,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, every amount, each 1,000 is drawn in very different dates. So actually we have to calculate interest by very long process. The first drawing, 12 months interest. Second 1,000, 11 months interest. Yes, na? So how to calculate it easily? Okay, let me check here. We have to calculate interest on drawing in following manner. As we discussed in previous slide, 12 months interest on 1,000 at 12%, which is made on first month. Yes, na? Same 11 months interest on 1,000, rate is 12%, which drawing is made in second month. Okay, जो फर्स्ट मंथ में ड्राइंग हुआ है उस पर 12 मंथ का इंटरेस्ट लगेगा, सेकेंड मंथ में जो ड्राइंग हुआ है उस पर 11 मंथ का लगेगा, उसी तरह थर्ड मंथ में जो ड्राइंग हुआ है उस पर 10 मंथ का लगेगा। उसी तरह कंटिन्यू करते करते अगर देखते हैं तो 12 मंथ की बिगिनिंग में जो 1000 का ड्राइंग हुआ है उस पर 1 मंथ का इंटरेस्ट लगेगा। उसका मतलब ये हुआ कि 1000 पे इंटरेस्ट लगेगा हर मंथ में, 12% पर एनम इंटरेस्ट होगा। लेकिन हर मंथ में चेंज क्या हो रहा है, फर्स्ट मंथ के ड्राइंग में 12 मंथ्स इंटरेस्ट, this drawing made in second month's beginning 11 months interest, third month's beginning 10 months interest, fourth month's beginning 9 months interest, fifth month's beginning 8 months interest, continuing 12 months beginning drawing 1 month's interest. You can see 78 months हो रहे हैं। देखो यहाँ कॉमन ये है कि 1000 पे इंटरेस्ट कैलकुलेट करना है, 1000 इज अमाउंट ऑफ ड्राइंग ईच मंथ, 12% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, but calculating separately for each month. First for 1012 months interest, second 1011. Can we do like this? You should calculate interest on calculate interest of calculating separate for all months. We can calculate on 1000, that is common. You can see here 12% is common, but calculating for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How many months interest? 78 months interest. So we can do it very easily. 1000 पर मंथ अमाउंट, 12%, हर महीने में 12% तो करना ही था। हर महीने का ड्राइंग 1000 था, लेकिन पहले महीने का इंटरेस्ट 12 मंथ का था, दूसरे महीने का इंटरेस्ट 11 मंथ का था। तो अलग अलग कैलकुलेट करने की बजाय calculating separately, instead of it we can calculate 78 months interest. Because 78 is month, we divide by 12. I is equal to p 1000, r rate, n is equal to time period. Thus total interest on drawing is being 780. Okay friends, what was different here? Here partner was withdrawing amount in very specific manner. Total 12,000 was drawing during the year, but that 12,000 was not withdrawn on very specific date. In 12,000, every month he was made drawing of 1,000. So actually we have to calculate separate interest on each month's drawing. But instead of it, this is the way: 1,000, 12% rate, but calculating separating first month's drawing 12 months, second month's drawing 11 months, third month's drawing 10 months. Instead of it, we made the total of that months and we got 78 months interest. Okay, let me check. Yes, this is exactly sum. This is very first sum in your 12 commerce textbook. But what is different than previous one? Okay, each and every word is important. So have a habit, friends, to check each and every word in your questions. Here a partner has withdrawn 12,000 during the year. So during the year total drawing made by him is 12,000. He drawn same amount at the end of every month. Yes, what this line means. This 12,000 is drawing during the year. This total drawing is not made on very specific date. He has drawn same amount at the end of every month. It means every month he was making drawing of 1000. So 1000 into 12, the total drawing of year is 12,000. Otherwise everything is same. But what is different? In previous sum, partner was withdrawing 1000 every month, but in the beginning of the month. While here partner is withdrawing 1000 every month, but just check it at the end of every month. Okay, otherwise interest on drawing is 12%. Okay, how to calculate? Very same like previous sum, but in previous sum it was drawing was made in the beginning, here drawing is made at the end. Total drawing is 12,000, but it is during the year. Every month same amount is drawn, so monthly drawing is 1000. Yes, that I clarified. But here drawing is made at the end of every month. Partner is withdrawing at the end of every month. So the first drawing which was made at the end of first month of the year, we should calculate only 11 months interest. Why? because suppose my first month is January, I'm making drawing on 31st January. So 1 month is already left. Okay, my interest will be charged from February up to December. So only how many months interest is charged? 11 months. Same for second month's drawing, interest will be charged for 10 months. For third month's drawing of 1000, interest will be charged for 9 months. And same continuing, the drawing made at the end of 11th month, 1 month's interest is charged. And drawing made at the end of 12th month, interest is not charged because on same day your accounting year ends. Okay. So continuing it, what happens? Interest will be charged on 1000 at 12%, but for how many months? In previous sum, 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9. Why 12? Because in the beginning he was making drawing. Here he is making drawing at the end of year. So total how many months interest you are charging? For 66 months. So same interest on drawing on 1000, 12% rate of interest and 66 months interest. It's being 660. Friends, here I would like to say you what was difference between both sum. In both sum, every month same amount was drawn. But in previous sum, the drawing was made by partner in the beginning of the month. So 78 month was there. Here drawing is made by partner at the end of month. So only 66 month is there. Yes, I'm not keeping any slide for it, but let me tell you, there are three possibilities for your exams. Either drawing is made in the beginning of the month, then 78 months interest, or at the end of month, then 66 months. And one another chance is in the middle of the month, on 15th date of month or 16th date, मंथ के बीच में ऐसा हो सकता है. तो इस कंडीशन में जो मंथ होता है ना, जैसे उसमें 78 होते हैं, इसमें 66, इट इज 72. लेट मी टेल यू, सपोज द ड्राइंग मेड in the middle of first month, interest is charged for 11.5 month. सेम सेकेंड मंथ के मिडल में हो गया, उस पे होगा 10.5 और उसका जो टोटल बनता है वो 72 मंथ्स होता है. तो सेम इसी तरह उसका भी कैलकुलेशन होता है कि द अमाउंट ऑफ ड्राइंग पर मंथ, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट और 72 मंथ का किया जाएगा. ओके, so these were sums rated with interest on drawing and one of the important sum in your short sums. Let me check some more. Now also you are having some short sums rated with partner or manager's commission. Yes, many firm, it depends on their agreement. If it is mentioned in their agreement, firm pays some commission to partner, otherwise any director or manager. Now there are two ways for calculating commission. It depends. If very first partner or manager's commission is calculated on profit of the firm. Yes, mostly rate of commission. Suppose it is say 5% commission is payable to manager. 5% of what? Then firm's profit. Otherwise 10% commission is payable to partner A. Then 10% of what? Firm's profit. So normally commission is calculated on profit. Now, if rate of commission is said on profit, which profit? Before deducting commission, then this is formula for you. The profit of the firm into rate of commission 5%, 10%, whichever say, into 100. Why 100? Then 10%, then 10 upon 100, 5%, then 5 upon 100. So this is very simple. Just check it another formula. When you are using this formula, if rate of commission is said on profit, which profit? After deducting such commission. What is difference between both? You can see here in first, which profit before deducting commission, which is very normal. कमीशन गिनने से पहले का जो प्रॉफिट है उस पर ही 5% 10% बोला है, तो फिर ये नॉर्मली कैसे हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं उसी तरह रेट लगाया जाएगा. बट हियर कमीशन गिन के माइनस करके बाद में जो प्रॉफिट बचता है उसका 5%. इस सिचुएशन में क्या होता है कि आपके पास कमीशन कैलकुलेट 5% जो करना है वो कमीशन गिनने के बाद के प्रॉफिट पे करना है, जबकि आपके पास वो प्रॉफिट होता ही नहीं क्योंकि कमीशन तो अभी बाकी है गिनना. तो उस सिचुएशन में, इन दिस सिचुएशन, We are using this formula: profit, rate of commission, dividing by not only 100 plus rate of commission. For example, suppose rate of commission is 5% and profit is 1 lakh, then 1 lakh into 5 upon 100 plus 5, so 105. Okay, let me check in example. This is very simple example. A, B and C are partners. They share their profit and loss is equally. Manager of the firm is entitled to get 5% commission on profit of the firm. Just check it here, 5% commission on profit. Here nothing is clarified. Which profit? Before deducting commission or after deducting commission? Yes, now we found two formulas. Listen me guys, when nothing is clarified, this 5% commission on which type of profit, before deducting commission or after deducting commission, then it is always before deducting commission, which is simple one. Profit of the firm at the end of year is 50,000. You have to find out commission of manager and also divisible profit. Okay, we will discuss what is divisible profit, but let me find very first manager's commission. Here manager will get 5% commission on profit. As I said you, nothing is clarified. He will get 5% commission on which profit? By mean, very simple, profit before deducting commission. कमीशन माइनस करने से पहले का जो प्रॉफिट है उस पे ही 5%, जो हमेशा तुम्हारे पास वही प्रॉफिट होता है. दिस 50,000 इज ऑलवेज प्रॉफिट बिफोर कमीशन, सो इट्स 5%. So in this situation, profit available is also before commission. I told you the profit which is available to you, it is always before commission. So how to calculate commission of partner? So commission is equal to profit into rate of commission divided by 100. Our first formula in previous slide. Here profit of the firm is 50,000. Rate of commission is 5%. So 5 by 100. Manager will get 2,500 rupees commission. Yes. But here we are having two questions. We are asked to find not only commission of manager, but also divisible profit. Guys, listen me. This is very simple example. This is not from your book, but from here we can start to know what is commission, how to calculate commission. Now divisible profit. Okay. What is divisible profit? Divisible profit means profit which you can divide among the partners. Now this is very simple. Anyone can say which profit is divided among the partners of firm. The last profit after making all the deductions of expenses and all incomes are considered, जो लास्ट में बच जाता है सब कुछ माइनस करने के बाद, उसे डिविजिबल प्रॉफिट बोलते हैं. नाउ divisible profit is equal to total profit which was 50,000 minus commission. Why minus commission? Because 50,000 was profit before deducting commission. Out of it we paid 2,500 commission to manager. So now remaining is amount which we can distribute among the partners, and that is exactly called divisible profit. सब कुछ माइनस करने के बाद जो बच जाता है उसे डिविजिबल प्रॉफिट कहते हैं, जो पार्टनर्स के बीच में बांटा जाएगा. So 50,000 was profit. Out of it 2,500 we paid commission to partner or manager. Here it was manager's commission. Then remaining 47,500 is divisible profit, and this profit is distributed among the partner. But here we were asked to find only divisible profit, not to find profit share of each partner. Otherwise, yes, it is said they shares profit and losses equally, distribute equally among them, you will get profit share, but it was not asked. Okay, we will check how to get partners share of profit in previous next slide. Okay, check this one is A, B and C are partners. They share their profit and losses in proportion of 3:2:1. Partner B will get 5% commission. Please check guys, exactly 5% commission on profit, but exactly which profit? After deducting his commission. This is exactly what I was saying in previous sum. In previous sum nothing was clarified. 5% commission on which profit? Then I told you if nothing is clarified then it is always before deducting commission. So very easy formula. But here he will get 5% commission on profit after deducting his commission. Profit of the firm at the end of year is 66,000. Let me clarify. The profit available to you is always before deducting commission. While here 5% is said on after deducting his commission. This is contradictory. So to how to solve this sum, let me check. Very first, let me check commission of partner. Okay, here commission is 5% on profit, but clearly clarified profit after deducting commission. Which profit? 5% of which profit? After deducting commission. While profit available, 66,000 profit which is available to us, it is before deducting commission. Okay. So profit is before deducting commission and 5% you are charging on after deducting commission. Then how to get commission of partner? Then we are using second formula. So commission of partner B, here partner's commission, in previous some manager's commission, it doesn't make any difference. Commission of partner B, we will calculate by using this formula: profit into commission rate divide by 100 plus commission rate. Profit of the firm is 66,000, commission rate 5%, so 5, but dividing not by 100 but 100 plus commission rate 5, so exactly 66,000 into 5 upon 105, and commission will be 6,000. Okay, but till not finished. Here you are asked to find two things: commission and also profit share of B. As we discussed in previous slide, previous sum, partners get their profit share. How? Distributing divisible profit among them. So 6,000 is commission amount. Now, if you want to find exactly profit share of B, very first you should find divisible profit. Divisible profit means the total profit 66,000 minus commission 6,000. 66,000 was profit before commission. Out of it 6,000 is payable to B as commission. So now 60,000 is exactly profit which is distributed among partners A, B, C, and their profit sharing ratio is said to us 3:2:1. So out of 60,000, how much partner B will get if you distribute among them in proportion of 3:2:1? Then it's very simple. His share is in 60,000, his share is 2 and divide by 6. Actually, this is very simple. You learnt in 6th or 7th standard. But those who don't know how to distribute, let me tell you how to get any partner's profit share. The 60,000 is divisible profit. You are looking to get profit share of B. His share is 2, so 2. And dividing by total of partners' profit sharing ratio, 3 plus 2 plus 1, so 6. So partner B will get 20,000 as profit share. He will get 6,000 as commission. So how much he is getting exactly at the end of year from firm? B will get two things from firm: 6,000 commission, 20,000 his share of profit. So partner B will get 26,000 from firm at the end of year. Okay, let me check next sum. This is exactly sum from your exercise textbook. Hansa, Hitesh and Vijay, they are partners of the firm. Their capital ratio is 3:2:1. Okay, here I would like to say something. Guys, this 3:2:1, check it carefully. It is capital ratio. It is capital ratio. And listen me, at the end of year, divisible profit is distributed among the partners, not in their capital ratio. It is distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. And in academy, when profit sharing ratio is not available to you for any partnership firm, then you have to distribute profit of the firm equally among the partners. So now here capital ratio, that is just confusion that students are using it, but we will not use it to share profit among them because this is capital ratio. We want profit sharing ratio. So this is useless for us. Okay, let me focus on the exact sum. The partner Hitesh, one of the partner Hitesh, he will get 10% commission on profit. For me, what is important? Which profit? Profit after deducting his commission. So 10% of profit, but 10% of which profit? After deducting commission. Very same like previous. Profit of the firm at the end of year is 165, 1,65,000. Now you have to check how much Hitesh will get. Yes, of course, same like previous sum. Here Hitesh will get two amounts from firm. First, he is entitled to get commission, so he will get commission. And also his partner, so he will get his profit share out of divisible profit. So very first let me find his commission. But same like previous sum. Hitesh will get 5% commission. But on which profit? Profit after deducting his commission. While profit available to you 1,65,000, it is always before deducting his commission. So this is not matching. Rate is said on after deducting commission profit, while available profit is before deducting commission. In this situation, we are using second formula, which is profit into rate of commission divided by 100 plus rate of commission. Profit is 1,65,000. Rate of commission is 10%, so 10 dividing by not 100 but 100 plus rate of commission 10. So exactly it is 1,65,000 into 10 upon 110, and it is 15,000. So here we found commission of Hitesh. Not enough, because we are looking to find how much he will get at the end of year, and Hitesh will get two amounts, commission 15,000 and also his share of profit. And for to find profit share of partner, very first we are looking for divisible profit. Divisible profit, total profit was 1,65,000. Out of 165 you are paying 15,000 to Hitesh as his commission. So now only 1,50,000 is remaining profit, which we can distribute among the partners. Why equally? Very first I said you, here 3:2:1 is said, but that is, read it carefully again in question. It is capital ratio. And guys, listen me, capital ratio is never used to share profit or loss. Yeah, yes. If I am clarifying, they distributes their profit in capital ratio, then we can. But it is not said. And if I am not having any information regarding profit sharing ratio, as per rules of Partnership Act 1932, profit of the firm is distributed among the partners equally. So how much Hitesh will get as his share of profit? 1,50,000 is profit distributed among the partners. 1:1:1, of course, equally. So three partners are there. So one third of profit, his share of profit, so 50,000. Hitesh will get 15,000 as commission, 50,000 as profit share. Thus, total amount Hitesh will get from firm at the end of year, 50,000 profit plus 15,000 commission. He will get totally 65,000. Then what? Check this one. This is exactly sum from your book, and it is very same like previous sum. Amrita and Divya are partners of the firm. The capital is in ratio of 3:2. Again, let me highlight. Check it here. Here also you are having capital ratio. 3:2 is capital ratio. So we will not use to share profit and loss, because profit and loss is distributed among the partners in that profit sharing ratio. So this is also useless for us. It is why they keep for confusing us. So you have to check it carefully. This is capital ratio or profit sharing ratio. Okay. Otherwise it is same like previous. Amrita will get 8% commission on profit. But which profit, that is important. If nothing is clarified, then simple. Before deducting commission, directly 8%. But clarified here. Amrita will get 8% commission on profit. Which profit? After deducting her commission. So again, same and same. Okay, profit of the firm at the end of year is 96,876. You need to find how much Amrita will get from firm. Very same. Amrita will get 8% commission, but on profit after deducting his commission. while available profit amount is before deducting his commission, her commission. Yes, so we are using this formula to get her commission. Sorry guys, not Hitesh but Amrita. Profit into rate of commission divided by 100 plus rate of commission. 96,876 is profit. 8% is rate of commission. Dividing by 100 plus commission rate 8. So exactly 96,876 into 8 divided by 108. Thus Amrita's commission is 7,176. Sorry guys, actually not Hitesh, but here the partner's name is Amrita. Okay, you can rectify it. Now we are looking to find how much she will get as profit share, because we are looking how much total amount she will get from firm. She will get two amounts. Her commission, which is 7176, and now let me check how much she gets from profit as a share. For it, very first we are looking for divisible profit. ये जो डिविजिबल प्रॉफिट है वो कैसे किसको बोलते हैं तो मैं पहले भी बता चुका कि सारे एक्सपेंसेस इनकम्स कंसीडर करने के बाद जो प्रॉफिट लास्ट में बचता है, जो पार्टनर्स के बीच में बांटा जाता है, उसको डिविजिबल प्रॉफिट कहते हैं ना। तो डिविजिबल प्रॉफिट, टोटल प्रॉफिट जो था वो 96,876 था। टोटल प्रॉफिट वाज 96,876. आउट ऑफ इट वी आर गिविंग 7,176 एज कमीशन टू Amrita, payable to her. So remaining 89,000 will be distributed among the partners. There are only two partners, Amrita and Divya. In which proportion? Equally. Again and again I am telling you, the ratio available to you 3:2, it is not profit sharing ratio, it is capital ratio. And in absence of profit sharing ratio, we should use equally. So how much Amrita will get as profit share? 89,000 is profit. There are only two partners, so distributed among them 1 by 2. So her profit share is 44,850. Okay, our answer, total amount Amrita will get. She will get 44,850 as profit, and already she is entitled to get 7,176 as commission. So exactly 52,026 is amount receivable, payable to Amrita by firm. Okay. Okay, guys. This also some from your book. Vismay, Abhijit, and Kruna. They are partners sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 3:2:4. Check it here. This is profit sharing ratio. We will use to distribute profit. But this sum is very different than previous sums. Let me check the question. Manager will get 10% commission on profit. But which profit? Profit after deducting his commission. So same, the commission rate is 10%. On which profit? Profit after deducting commission. But what is different in this sum compared to previous two? In previous two sums, profit of the firm was available. Read it carefully here. Profit share of Abhijit is 30,000 at the end of year. Abhijit is one of the partner. Vismay, Abhijit, Kruna. Here exactly how much Abhijit gets from firm as his share of profit 30,000 is available, and your question is to find manager's commission. Now as we found in previous two sums, manager or partner's commission we calculates on firm's profit. Yes, no? While this 30,000 is not firm's profit, this is profit share of Abhijit. Just check it my cursor. This is profit share of Abhijit. While we are looking for firm's profit, because we need to calculate 10% commission payable to manager on firm's profit. Okay, so very first we should find profit of the firm. Check it. As I said, profit of the firm is not available here, but profit share of partner Abhijit is available, provided to us. Yes. While manager's commission 10%, you should calculate on profit of the firm. And available is not profit of the firm. It is profit share of any specific partner Abhijit. So how to get firm's profit? We know that how we shares among the partner. Divisible profit we distribute among the partner as per profit sharing ratio. I am doing same and I will get firm's profit. Firstly, we should find divisible profit by using profit share of Abhijit. Profit share of Abhijit is available 30,000 and same will help us to find divisible profit. How we gets profit share of Abhijit? Whatever divisible profit is there into 2 by 9. Why 2 by 9? Just check it, forms profit sharing ratio 3 is to 2 is to 4, where Abhijit is second one, so his share is 2, and dividing by total 3 to 5 4 9. Yes. Now what is available to us? Divisible profit is available or profit share of Abhijit? 30,000 is profit share of Abhijit. So can we do like this? 30,000 Abhijit's profit share. We don't know divisible profit. Let me keep as it is into 2 by 9. Changing it, your divisible profit is equal to 30,000. 9 is changing side, so in multiples rule, and 2 in division. Divisible profit of the firm is 1,35,000. Okay. Now, guys, in previous two sums, how we were finding divisible profit? Profit before commission minus commission, we were getting divisible profit. Here we got directly divisible profit, and divisible profit is after deducting commission. It is always after deducting commission. Yes, now. And just read it. Manager will get 10% commission on profit after deducting his commission. So exactly profit 135 is available to you, on which you have to calculate commission of manager. So you can calculate very simply. Manager's commission 1,35,000 is profit after deducting commission, by I mean divisible profit. Its 10% is payable to him. So commission of manager will be 13,500. Okay. Uh, Let me repeat some uh, focusing points here. Yep, any specific partner's profit share was available. By using that profit share of Abhijit, we got divisible profit. Why? Because we were looking to find firm's profit. This is firm's total profit, but this is divisible profit, and it is always after commission. So we got directly manager's commission. Okay, let me check next one. Raj, Kaushik and Sharma. This one is very simple sum. A partner sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 15 is to 10 is to 9. Total profit at the end of year is 68,000. You need to find out profit share of each partner. That is very simple. The total profit of the firm is 68,000. Yes. You have to distribute among the partners in 15 is to 10 is to 9. 15 is to 10 is to 9. So how to distribute this partners profit among them? Your total profit is 68,000. Profit sharing ratio is 15 is to 10 is to 9. So simply distributing this 68,000 among the partners in this profit sharing ratio, how much Raj will get? 68,000 total profit into 15 by 15, because his share is 15, and dividing by total of share 15, 10, 9, 34. So Raj's profit share is 30,000. How much Kaushik will get? 68,000 is amount of profit. His share is 10 by 34, 20,000. And Sharma, 68,000 is profit into 9 by 34, so 18,000. So this is very simple. Here total profit which was distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. Okay, let me check one another sum. Mehta gets 4 times profit share than Pandya. Mehta gets 4 times profit share than Pandya, and Bajpayee receives half of the Mehta's share of profit. And profit of the firm at the end of year is 87,500. What is difference than previous sum? In previous sum, profit sharing ratio was available 15 is to 10 is to 9. But here we are having some clues. By using these clues, very first let me find profit sharing ratio. And then simply we will distribute 87,500 among the partners. Yes? Check it here. Your partner's profit share is to be found. We have to find. Yes? For it, let me check these clues. Mehta gets 4 times profit share than Pandya. It means if you want to find Mehta's share, you need Pandya's share. Yes, now because Mehta's share is 4 times than Pandya. Yes. Then what? While Bajpayee's share depends on Mehta's share. Just read the line of Bajpayee. Bajpayee receives how much? He receives half of the Mehta. So what happened here? If you want Mehta's share, you depends on Pandya. If you want Bajpayee shares, you depends on Mehta. Bajpayee depends on Mehta. Mehta depends on Pandya. So can we start with supposing Pandya's share? Yes. So let me suppose Pandya's share is supposed to. Guys, let me tell you, you can suppose anything. You can suppose 1, 200, 500. You are going to suppose, you can suppose anything. But if you suppose the digit, which can be multiple or divided as per our requirement, then it's very better. So I just suppose Pandya's share 2. If Pandya's share is 2, then of course Mehta's share will be 8. Why? Because Mehta gets 4 times than Pandya. So if my supposed Pandya share is 2, then Mehta gets 2 by 4 because he 4 times than Pandya. Pandya share is 2. 4 times than it, 8. And what about Bajpayee? Then Bajpayee's share will be 4. Why 4? Just read it. Bajpayee's share is half of the Mehta. Mehta's share is 8 and half of it is 4. Profit sharing ratio of Pandya, Mehta and Bajpayee can be 2 is to 8 is to 4. Guys, you let me again tell you, suppose instead of Pandya share 2, you can suppose 1. If it is 1, then Mehta's share will be 4 because 1 by 4. And Bajpayee shares will be 2 because 4 divided by 2. It depends. You can suppose any amount. So for me here, if Pandya share is 2, then Mehta share will be 8 and Bajpayee share will be 4. So their profit sharing ratio will be 2 is to 8 is to 4. Yes, we were looking for profit sharing ratio. Total profit is 87,500. So we should distribute this 87,500. How? Just check it this slide. Total profit of 87,500 will be distributed among the Pandya, Mehta and Bajpayee in the ratio of 2 is to 8 is to 4. Yes. So same again. Pandya share 87,500 into 2 divided by 4. Now you know how to distribute. 2 is share of Pandya dividing by total 2, 8, 4, 14. So he will get 12,500. What about Mehta? 87,500 into 8. His share is 8 divided by 14. So 50,000. And same Bajpayee. 87,500 into 4. His share is 4 dividing by total 14, 25,000. Yes, guys, here I am finishing this video. In this video, we considered topics first, some theoretical topics of first chapter. Already, I released some more videos earlier where some theoretical topics were considered. If you have not seen it, just subscribe my channel and see. But here my focus was examples related with interest on drawing, commission of partner or manager, and profit share. Yes, very soon I am going to release my next video where I am going to consider all short sums of this chapter. And in this, especially in this chapter, first chapter, short sums are important. The total weightage of chapter is only 3. How it is allocated in your paper as per our blueprint? 1 mark for MCQ, okay, and 2 mark for short sum. Yes. So yes, this is from Apu sir. If you like my video and if you are getting more, then just subscribe my channel. Share these videos for your other colleagues. Yes, because you are getting knowledge from this video. Your friends should get also. Okay. Bye. We will check. We will meet very soon. It's okay.